Good morning, everybody. It is decision day for SCOTUS. That is what we have going on today. This is motherfucking D-Day, everybody. We have a couple of cases that we're going to get as long as they don't drop like a one box and then do some dog shit. We're going to do another day this session. But as far as we know, they are dropping everything today. That is what we know right now. Waiting on the Birthright Citizenship case. We're waiting on our two cases involving transgender athletes that had both address the 14th Amendment. One adds in a Title IX question. We should be getting that today as well. Those cases are Little v. Hecox and West Virginia versus BPJ. And then we also have our Citizens United 2.0 case coming, which fuck me, but it's here. We got to deal with it. Give me 1 second. I am pulling up everything and I am just going to go through and answer some questions before we get started this morning. We are expecting birthright citizenship out of the Trump administration. I do not believe this is going to be favorable for the Trump administration, but they could go crying their Cheerios about that shit and he can go on a 4-hour rant on a press conference. I'm gonna love it when he calls Gorsuch a radical leftist again. Mark my words. So anyway, okay, let's go through these real quick. We'll talk briefly about it. If you have questions, drop them in the chat because it's decision day, baby. So we have 4 pending decisions this morning. We have the National Republican Senatorial Committee versus the Federal Election Commission. That's what I'm calling Citizens United 2.0. What question is it asking, do you ask? The question presented is whether limits on coordinated party expenditures violate the First Amendment, either on their face or as applied to party spending in connection with party coordinated communications. So this is a First Amendment question. Generally, it's going to face strict scrutiny. We're probably going to see a very similar outcome for parties just basically wanting to go willy-nilly with their money. But whatever, sometimes you got to read a SCOTUS decision and go on with your day. We're waiting on them. About 9 o'clock, they're going to drop. So we're also expecting our 2 transgender athlete cases. Both of them address the 14th Amendment question of whether laws that seek to protect... Sorry, I got kids yelling. About whether laws that seek to protect women and girls sports by limiting participation to women and girls based on sex violate the Equal Protection Clause of the 14th Amendment. Then we're also going to have West Virginia versus BPJ, which adds in another question. So there's 2 cases about transgender athletes. Both of them address that 14th Amendment question. But the West Virginia versus BPJ also adds on whether Title IX of the Education Amendments of 1972 prevents a state from consistently designating girls and boys sports teams based on biological sex determined at birth. Certainly interesting. We'll see where it goes. If you're in here, if you can tap and like and share and do all the shit that's free. And if you have the 1 penny heart me, please send it because it helps a lot. So anyway, and then we got our big one. This is our Trump v. Barbara or Birthright Citizenship case. Good morning, Michael. Good morning, Monty. I see everybody coming in. I love you so much. If you have questions, again, if you're coming in, just drop them in the chat. I'll do my best to answer them. Then we have our Birthright Citizenship case. This is a specific question that's asked in Birthright Citizenship. Whether Executive Order number 14160 complies on its face with the Citizenship Clause of the 14th Amendment and with 8 U.S.C. 1401A, which codifies that clause. Thank you so much, guys. So we are waiting right now. Again, if you have questions, drop them in the chat. If I can answer them, I will answer them. and we may see law attorney die here in a bit, but if not, I'm more than capable of going through these decisions with you myself. I just always love to add their perspective because sometimes they have a way of explaining it that's just so perfect. Nobody can match it. So let's open up our SCOTUS tab. As far as I know, this is going to be the last decision day of term, unless they do me dirty and they're like, oh, it's just one box today. And then we all got to wait until like tomorrow or Thursday for whatever dog shit they're coming with. But I will tell you my speculation on this. Transgender athlete case, likely not going to be the outcome. Anybody who's just like a fucking human with empathy and humanity wants. Law did say he was joining. Oh, okay, cool. Anyway, so we've got, sorry, what was I saying? I got so distracted. I apologize. Oh, the transgender athlete case, I think, is not going to go the way most people with just basic fucking humanity and empathy want it to go. I always like to hold out hope that maybe there's something there that I'm missing. However, I also like to be fair to my audience that you're probably going to be expecting a letdown there. Now, if it goes better, that's great. But that one I don't have a lot of hopes for. My Citizens United 2.0, which is, I can't remember the name of it right now, and I just read it off to y'all because that's how fried my brain is. The National Republican Senatorial Committee versus the Federal Election Commission. I always mix up that one and Watson. That's my Citizens United 2.0 because they challenge that limits on coordinated party expenditures violate the First Amendment. And then I don't think that one's going to go well just based on this fucking court in general. Like, let's be so real about where we're at. Yeah, I'm nervous. Like, this is a day, eggs. Let me share the live out real quick to my peeps. I gotta get some of my mods in here at least. Sorry, guys. Okay, anyway, and then Birthright Citizenship is the one case I actually have the best feeling about. I listened to oral arguments multiple times. I did my due diligence. Law even expected a better outcome than I did. I saw a 5-4, a more narrow decision. Law said he could see a 6-2 or a 7-2 if it's decided on the statutory issue alone. So that's where we are right now. If you have questions, drop them in the chat quick because once I get into decisions, it's very hard to catch everybody's questions until I have like somebody else in the box with me. Yeah, Danny, I would hope for 7-2 and a total constitutional smackdown. That's my goal. But right now I'm thinking 5-4, maybe 6-3, and it's narrowed to the statutory provision there. I know that, like, it's just the way this court is. Like, I'm trying not to get my hopes up. I'm trying to keep everybody's hopes like at a baseline. So that way, if something goes better, we're like, yes, slay, SCOTUS, slay. Hi, Kofifi. Hi, everybody coming in. We're just waiting on SCOTUS decision. Got about 3 more minutes. Let me see what's popping over here on SCOTUS blog. Give me just a second. Their live blog should be open. Oh, don't do me dirty like that. Are they not live casting? Like, what the heck? Hold on. Guess not. All right, then. I'm doing good, everybody. How are you? You got 2 boxes today? Okay, like, it's not... Oh, now it's pulling up for me. It's probably because so many people in there that, like, it's, like, loading. So we had a 2-box day. So likely we've got all our decisions dumped today. Oh, sorry, guys. Sorry if I don't see you. My bad, Law. But yeah, we're waiting right now. So 2 boxes. Everything should be done today. Praise baby Jesus and for lowering my blood pressure. Hi, Law. How are you?
Living the dream. How about you?
Same, bro. Same. Which is just basically my way of saying we're living in a fresh hellscape. Yeah, I know they have their live chat, but my chat on there wasn't loading because I watched them and sorry, I mentioned the comments. I watched them and the SCOTUS page. So I was loading everything, and I think there's so many people. Do you think they'll release Birthright last? Probably, because they hate me. It's not because of me, and I get that for the whatever Chud gets in my comments, like they don't even know you. I get that. It's like hyperbolic. So anyway, Law, thoughts on Birthright today? I know
Yeah,
you had a specific kind of way you saw it going.
yeah. So it can go one of two grounds. One is statutory grounds because there is a U.S. code that basically affirms birthright citizenship. So the narrow way that the court could go could be to say that Trump violated the statute. He exceeded his executive authority by entering into congressional statutes. So that would be the narrow way out. I think that's likely to be at least 7-2, could be even be 9-0, just saying that, hey, Congress made this law and the president can't overstep it. More narrowly and a broader, victory for birthright citizenship would be either a constitutional grounds, which says, no, there is a constitutional grounds to birthright citizenship and the Trump's executive order violates that. Or even broader, a reaffirmation or kind of clarification of ARC. Each of those is less likely to have a broad majority. I don't think that there's going to be a reaffirmation or expansion of ARC. It is possible that there could be a constitutional win instead of a statutory win. That's likely to be like 5-4, I think. And even then, I think we're still going to see, no matter what the decision is, like 5 or 6 concurring opinions or concurring in part, dissenting in part.
Hold on. Oh, okay. They dropped them quick. We have the Little v. Heathcox and West Virginia versus BPJ right now.
So the transports cases.
Whatever way West Virginia versus BPJ goes, it's going to be the same way for the other one. Both ask the 14th Amendment questions, but BPJ adds on the Title IX question.
And one of them tried to moot it out, right? They were trying to say,
Yeah, they were like,
she's not playing sports anymore. It doesn't matter.
That was this one. That was the BPJ case. Okay, so I'm going to read the little synopsis and we'll read the holding. The question before the court in these cases is whether, oh, did they consolidate them down? They weren't. Okay. The question before the court in these cases is whether under Title IX and the Equal Protection Clause of the 14th Amendment, schools may maintain women and girls sports teams for biological females. May schools determine eligibility for female sports based on biological sex? In the past 6 years, 27 states have enacted laws that maintain female sports for biological females. In 2021, West Virginia enacted the Save Women's in Sports Act, which prohibits male students from playing on female teams. The law specifies that sex is determined by biology. The legislature expressly found that prohibiting biological male participation in female sports is necessary to promote equal athletic opportunities for women and girls. Respondent BPJ, who identifies as female, is a biological male as defined by a whole thing I'm not reading off. BPJ has sought to participate on girls' cross country and track and field teams at school. BPJ sued West Virginia and relevant officials for allegations of Title IX and equal protection, for violations of Title IX and the Equal Protection Clause of the 14th Amendment. U.S. District Court for the Southern District of West Virginia granted summary judgment for the state on both claims. On appeal, the Fourth Circuit reversed on the Title IX issue and remanded for further fact-finding on the Equal Protection Clause claim. In 2020, Idaho acted the Fairness in Women's Sport Act, which prohibits male students from participating on male teams. The Idaho law, essentially, we're reading out the exact same fucking thing. Okay. Title IX allows schools to provide separate women and men's sports teams defined by biological sex and West Virginia has permissibly maintained female sports for biological females consistent with Title IX. So let me see what they're saying about the 14th Amendment. Did they?
Look, is a 6-3? Can you see who joined?
Yeah, hold on. It's got to be a 6-3. I'm almost betting, but we will look. Kavanaugh delivered the opinion of the court, which Roberts, Thomas, Alito, Gorsuch, and Barrett joined. Thomas and Gorsuch filed concurring opinions. Sotomayor filed an opinion concurring in the judgment in part and dissenting in part, in which Kagan and Jackson joined, and Jackson filed an opinion concurring in the judgment in part and dissenting in part.
So it's 9-0 on at least parts of it.
I mean, honestly, I'll be real. It was just not the best case that could have been brought. Does that make sense? Like, when I watched the arguments, and the BPJ one was much better than sorry, I can't remember the name of it right now, the other one that they had that just specifically dealt with the 14th Amendment. That argument was super procedural. The BPJ argument was the argument that kind of delved into the issue more. And while I can be fair that, like, I don't like this decision and I don't think this is the best outcome, the case presented was just poor, if that makes sense. I don't know how to make it make sense in a way unless you go like watch my lives on it. But yeah, it's
Well, and keep in mind when they initially appealed this was under the Biden administration. So they were likely thinking that they were going to have a more favorable judicial environment than with the government joining the brief, and things like that, where they were very much met with adversarial, which is why they tried to moot it out. So, bad facts make bad law, unfortunately.
Yeah, and like, I don't want anybody to get the impression that I'm advocating for this decision here. I think there's a lot more nuance to it than we give it credit for. I just want to be clear about that. But I also can say that a bad case is a bad case. Like, I have to be fair to y'all as an audience. Not saying I agree, but I'm also saying I could see why it landed the way that it landed. Let's see. What else? Let's see. Give me 1 second. My computer is just doing stuff today.
It'll be interesting to see what parts they concurred with. I would jump down to was it Sotomayor's opinion that concurred in part?
Yeah, give me 1
because
second.
it'll be interesting to see, because we're going to hear nothing but 9-0, 9-0, no transgender in women's sports, and I imagine that it's somewhat more narrow than that.
Well, yeah, and that's like why I can like understand why even some of 1 second, let me close my door because my kids are on one today.
That's delightful.
Oh, it's been a morning. We've been struggle busing. But anyway.
While we're here real quick, before Cass gets back into it, not everybody has sent their daily heart me. I can tell because her goal is not filled yet. So if you haven't sent your little 1 penny heart me's, please do that. As well as, when the kids are good, they get ice cream. And I think we should all help contribute by looking at Cass's links in her bio and thank her for putting on this space where we can all law nerd out and give her a few bucks to go buy the kiddos some ice cream for presumptively being well behaved for the rest of the stream.
We're crossing our fingers for that one. I'm not going to lie. Yesterday was really good. Today, they're just mad at each other. So if you hear people screaming, I promise they're not trying to murder each other. They're just two boys and they're 8 and 10. So take your guesses. Okay, hold on. I'm scrolling down to Sotomayor. Just give me 1 sec. Let's see. Ugh, Justice Thomas. I don't care. This is Gorsuch. Okay. Sotomayor, with whom Kagan and Jackson join, concurring in the judgment in part and dissenting in part. Let me see. Okay, applying a form of heightened scrutiny divorced from this court's cases, the majority holds that transgender girls like BPJ who wish to play girls' sports are not protected by the Constitution. Even if BPJ is correct that neither of the state's interests is furthered by their exclusion, yet the Equal Protection Clause demands much more when a state deploys a sex classification to achieve legislative aims. This is really important because this decision did not answer the 14th Amendment question at all. So anyway, let's see. Sorry, I lost my place because of course. Perhaps West Virginia can meet those demands. Perhaps not. In either event, because unresolved factual questions prevent the court from assessing the merits of BPJ's equal protection claim at this time, the court should allow the district court to address those factual questions in the first instance. Yet, in an opinion unencumbered by fact or law, the majority today cuts off that process prematurely, deciding instead that BPJ's case must end now.
I dropped these and it's
It's okay, buddy. Just
We're gonna
put it
buy
in
you.
my drawer.
We're
We'll
gonna buy
fix
you
it.
ice cream. Just be good.
Yeah, baby. My viewers are. We're gonna get money for ice cream.
okay.
Okay, we're cool. All right, baby. Thank you. Anyway,
All right,
sorry.
don't make me a liar, y'all. Hit those links.
Oh my god. No, that was a deep cut. I want to read that again. Yet, in an opinion unencumbered by fact or law, the majority cuts off that process prematurely, deciding instead that BPJ's case must end now.
So it sounds like they're endorsing it being remanded back for additional fact finding, but not endorsing the overall opinion.
Yeah, geez, I'm gonna get on Google Chrome because I feel like Safari is playing with my heart today. Is it gonna open? Thanks so much. Oh, I am on Google. Maybe I need to get on Safari. Hold on, guys. I'm on it. Let's see. Opinions of the court. Yeah, that's still all we got right now. So we can kind of go through this a little bit. I want to say this with all the empathy in the world. I think a lot of us saw this and knew where it was going to go. I tried to be very honest with y'all when I watched it that it made me mad, but I just knew where this court was going to land because they I don't know. Thoughts, Wall? Like, this is. I don't know that I have much to say on it other than it's sad that it went this way, but I didn't see the court doing anything different.
I didn't pay much attention to this case. I don't think I listened to the oral arguments. I probably read the petition, but none of the responses, so I'm not as well informed. I just kind of knew where it was going to fall just based off of the cultural war that we've got going on.
Hold on though, because this case didn't address Hecox. So they must, yeah, Ari said they're still reading them off. So their law clerks are just messing with people this morning. Why don't they just drop them all and then read them? Like, is it some sort of procedural thing, or they just like to be like, hoity-toity?
Back in the old times, it was to allow the media to get copies, so they would do it every 10 minutes. But now that everything's online, it's just kind of one of those archaic things. They could just drop them all if they wanted to, but it's one of the things that they hold on to. But yeah, it used to be because they would actually have the physical copies that they would give to the media and give them time to kind of go through it real quickly, take their notes, so that they weren't having to try to go hit their news deadline with no information, with all the things all at once, that they could kind of get things out quickly. But yeah, it's just one of those archaic rituals.
Yeah, sorry, Rob. Sometimes I don't see the guest box, so I apologize. Rob is another attorney. We have two Robs in here right now. This is Rob Law the Wild, and this is Rob the Reflecting Pool. Both attorneys, both awesome. Rob, yeah. Do you have any thoughts? Law, I'll call you Law. Rob, I'll call you Rob.
Hey, Casanova. Hey, yeah, I was just reading also the Sotomayor, part concurrence, part dissent. And yeah, the equal protection thing is like Law said, or maybe it was like you, Cass said, that basically she thinks there should be more factual findings around the scientific debate. And then they have also they have a Title IX part, which looks super interesting. And basically on Title IX, Sotomayor is just concurring, straight up concurring with the majority. And she's making this distinction between, she's basically comparing it to Bostock.
Okay, that tracks.
Well, and like for me, the Title IX question was much easier to answer. Like it was, it was created. It's Title IX was created for women, essentially. Like I'm not gonna be like, oh, there's just so like, essentially that's what it was created for. I didn't see the Title IX question going any other way, but yeah,
Well, and I think it's important to realize too that Title IX just allows this, or allows the states, and in some ways requires the states to have policies to protect us. It doesn't prescribe what those policies have to be. So this, I think in concurring with this, it isn't an endorsement of the policy. It's an endorsement of the school's ability, and in some cases mandate, to have those policies. And the broader question of, are trans women covered under those policies, is the equal protection part, which wasn't resolved and which was dissented on.
Yeah, and that's what I'm like. It's really, really bothering me that it's taking this long to get out the Hecox case, because the Hecox case, it was almost the exact same wording, addressed the exact same 14th Amendment question that BPJ did. They negated to answer it in BPJ, and as far as I know, they didn't like post fact consolidate these cases because they had two different hearings and I had to sit through it. They had, and I was like, why didn't they just consolidate this? Because the 14th Amendment question was the same. But yeah, I'm just like, what are they doing? Come on, y'all. Don't do me like that. But yeah, like I'm trying to, so hold on, the holding. Title IX allows schools to provide separate women and men's sports team defined by biological sex, and West Virginia has permissibly maintained female sports for biological females consistent with Title IX. I'm just trying to see if it's addressed.
She's just straight up saying Title IX, that the word sex in Title IX refers to biological sex.
Yeah. This is just, I don't know. I'm sorry, guys, if you are in here and you're sitting through this with us, I appreciate you. I know there are other people that do this well. Law does it really well. I know there are other people that do this better than me. And you have many choices on where you would like to fly with us today, but we're glad you're flying with us.
So Rob, I think my take of this is that that the take isn't that they're saying that Title IX equals separation by biological sex. It's just saying that the school's policy, or the state's policy rather, doesn't violate Title IX on its face. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I guess it's an unsatisfying nuance, but at
Real quick,
least
gentlemen,
until they. Oh, go ahead.
Real quick, Ari, block them. Your discretion. Like I'm not gonna question you. If you're like I gotta block somebody, you block them. Not even a question. I'm so sorry, Law. Please go ahead.
No, that's fine. Yeah, I again, like, this is all the kind of the hot takes, and until you really dive into everything, but so yeah, I guess that makes sense that Title IX allows states and schools to have these policies, but whether or not trans women are part of, or whether or not excluding them violates
Wait,
a presumption that they're able to play is an equal protection question that the majority, tossed to the side.
wait. Why did Rob? I'm gonna ask it later. I'm gonna ask after this. Sorry. Any hoodle. Um.
Rob, where'd
Yeah.
you go?
Anyway. So we are waiting on. Uh. We're waiting on Hecox. I want to see what they're saying on the 14th Amendment question as it pertains to transgender people in sports. We're still waiting on Birthright. Sonia Sotomayor is reading her reading her stuff, but she is so slow. I love her, but she's the slowest talker ever, and I have to speed her shit up to like 1.5. So Amy House said that she was almost halfway through. So we're all waiting on that. Thanks, Sotomayor. Let's see.
And Rob, if I stepped on you, I apologize. It wasn't intentional. So if I made you feel any certain way, I'm used to just BSing back and forth with Cass. So I apologize if I stepped on anything you were saying.
You hold on. I send it to you. Give me 1 second. Any hoodle. Okay, so guys, we're
Fair
gonna
enough.
keep talking. We're gonna get sorry, I sent it to you. So any hoodle, let's talk about what else we're gonna get today. I'm kind of we're curious about the 14th Amendment question, which addressed in Hecox. Also, Citizens United 2.0. Another one I just don't see going any other way than the way this court normally goes on that. It's about hold on 1 second. Dang it. Sorry, I hate when I get off my page and I have to go back. So give me just a second. And for some reason, nothing's loading today. SCOTUS blog is like kind of low key crashing. I'm not going to lie. But there's like, I think there's 47,000 people are online on SCOTUS blog. So
That's insane. Normally it's a couple hundred.
yeah, so we got 47,000 people. I usually use them to synopsis the questions, but so this one, the Citizens United 2.0, was about limits on coordinated party expenditures and whether they violate the first on their face. And I think there was another part to that question, but I don't think I saw any statutory stuff in there. Thoughts?
No one cares about that. Let's get to Birthright. No, I mean it's likely. I mean, it's just an extension of Citizens United. I can't see the court coming down any other way than limiting a private entity. Even though it is a party unit, limiting their ability to spend money towards races is a violation of the First Amendment, which is just crazy because if I want to donate $1 billion to the Republican National Senate Committee, I can donate $1 billion to them. I can only donate $2,700 to a federal candidate, but if the federal candidate goes and starts talking to the RNLC, it's like, hey, we know that Rob's got deep pockets, and he would really like us to see, like us to win. Then they can spend as much money as they want on behalf of that candidate. That just seems slimy to me, but politics is slimy, and we are where we are from a precedent standpoint.
Okay, now I'm wondering if it's the SCOTUS website that's like
That's highly likely too. That's happened before, where their website.
mother. Okay. Hold on 1 second. I'm trying to see if I'm getting anything on SCOTUS blog because maybe they can tell me more. What's that? Okay. Hold on. This is ridiculous. Hold on. I'll go back to the website again. I guess they're done reading those two. Campaign finance and birthright citizenship. Hold on. They said something crashed. So I'm trying to scroll back up to it because, of course, I'm sure the opinion site is about to crash with everyone hitting the refresh. Okay, so yeah, people are already saying it's like kind of lagging. So hang in there with us, guys. We're working on it. If you have questions, this is a great time to throw them in the chat. Law can answer them. I may be able to. So we're all here for that. Somebody said the next hour is going to be a real test of our internet connection. I swear to God. Sorry, this blog is cracking me up right now because people are just talking shit. But yeah. Oh,
Government servers.
yeah. Trump can invest money in ICE, but we can't get more capacity here. Okay, let's see if May still not out. And I just like went back into the site entirely. So it's like trying to get concert tickets for real.
To Moni's point, yeah, we're not trying to get Taylor Swift tickets here. We're just trying to nerd out. Come on.
This really does feel like I'm on Ticketmaster about to drop like $2,000 on some concert tickets. I have never personally done that, but I do know crazy people that have, and just know. I don't like people enough to go to those environments.
I tried that to get some World Cup tickets. It did not work out for me.
Oh, we got people in the chat watching the blog. So y'all, if you see something, you're like, it perks up your eyes or your ears, just let me know.
I see campaign finance is out, our RNLC, which means birthright citizenship is going to be our last case.
Well, that's weird that they didn't okay. They just didn't answer that other case. Okay. Federal Election Campaign Act.
Maybe.
Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just saying maybe they will drop that afterwards, since it's kind of just going to be an afterthought. But yes, let's go over the RNSC.
Okay, the Federal Election Campaign Act restricts a political party's spending on campaign activities in coordination with candidates. 2001, this court upheld those coordinated expenditure limits as consistent with the First Amendment. See, Federal Election Commission, the Colorado Republican Federal Campaign Card. Petitioners, a group of candidates and political party committees, challenged FECA's political party coordinated expenditure limits under the First Amendment, arguing that Colorado 2 is no longer good law. In light of Colorado 2, the en banc U.S. Court of Appeals for the Sixth Circuit rejected petitioners' First Amendment challenge. This court granted certiorari. Held. FECA's political party coordinated expenditure limits violate the First Amendment. Who would have told you that?
We got to keep a scoreboard of the ones that we're calling.
Yeah.
Because we're like batting 1,000 or close to it.
I'm telling you, buddy, I think we could get a pool going. Like, not that we do that kind of thing, but like Discord is for Discord. So, I'm saying.
I went to Kashi to try to bet on birthright citizenship, but it was like a 67 to 1 that it was going to get struck down.
That's why I didn't do it, because I was like, okay, why would I even invest my money in this? Because just the return and that loss of my couple $100 for however long, it's just not worth it for me. But yeah, so just like I told y'all, this is Citizens United 2.0, and now parties can do fuckery, much like PACs and super PACs and all the other dog shit. I honestly wasn't expecting anything else, so I'm unbothered. Did you want me to read anything specific? That one was really
but
short.
just to kind of explain it to the chat. A coordinated expenditure is if so let's say I'm a party unit like Minnesota Republican Party or the National Republican Senate Committee, and I want to spend money in a race. If I am working with the candidate, there's a limit to how much money I can spend in that race because it could potentially be an end run to try to get dark money thrown into the race because you don't have to. Well, I guess there are disclosures, but there's no limits to how much money that you can throw into a party unit. You can throw as much money as you want into it. Now, what this decision is saying is those limits are unconstitutional. So now a campaign can work with a party unit to spend unlimited amount of money for a coordinated effort instead of what used to be that you could only spend a certain amount of money in a coordinated campaign effort.
I'm going to restate what I said yesterday. I can dislike wholeheartedly the outcomes of this case and still say this. We already knew where these kind of like 3 cases were going to go. I kind of told y'all yesterday, like I knew it was going to happen. You got to understand because after they dropped Birthright, Trump cried for 3 hours on air about tariffs. I cannot imagine the length of the press conference after this drops. Hot take.
I'm looking forward to it. I actually cleared my calendar this morning to try to make sure that I could be here for this meltdown is what I expect. But yeah, and I think people need to understand that recognizing or predicting a case based off of our current precedent is not the same as endorsing the outcome. Doesn't mean we like it. It means that we understand how we got there. I deal with this all the time with my beloved friends on the left when we talk about like Second Amendment things, about how, the Second Amendment, whether it's in Miller, whether it's in Heller, McDonald, or Brune, protects arms that are in common use. And that may be problematic to things like an assault weapons ban. And I get raked over the coals for that take. It doesn't mean I support it. It doesn't mean I agree with it. I'm just saying that where our courts have led us to this point in time on this timeline means that it would be problematic to ban those. Now, it doesn't mean that can't change. It just means things are what they are at this moment.
Oh, okay. Kavanaugh is still reading from his summary of opinion, noting that Kavanaugh refers to Kagan's thoughtful dissent. Now we got to see what Kagan said.
Kagan doesn't do anything that's not thoughtful.
Yeah, that's true. I honestly feel like she gives like she would get on you, like if she was your grandma, she would get on you, but like also bake you cookies and like give you hugs. Like that's the vibe that she gives me. Like I don't know, it's
Well,
me.
She sits you down and lectures you and makes you feel 2 inches tall, and then gives you a jar of ribbon candy.
Yeah, it's that I'm not sad, baby. I'm just disappointed. That's the vibe. But I'm here for it. Let's go see what Kagan said because now I'm just curious. Because if Kavanaugh's being like thoughtful dissent, I gotta know what it is.
Did we see the split on this? I imagine it's 6-3.
I think it's 5-4. Hold on. I think that's what I counted was 5-4. So Kavanaugh delivered the opinion of the court. Roberts, Thomas, Alito, Gorsuch, Barrett joined. Kagan filed. Oh, wait, no. It is 6-3. I'm sorry. I counted wrong. My bad. Okay, well, I'd like to blame it on something, but I probably just can't math. Math are hard. Let's see. Jesus, how long does this need to be? Is he trying to write Citizens United 2.0? Lord Jesus. It's like, what is that? 29 pages. No wonder he's still reading from his shit. Okay, Kagan dissenting. Let's see. For over half a century, a federal statute has guarded against actual and apparent quid pro quo corruption in our political system by limiting the amount of money a donor can contribute to a candidate. The law's theory is simple. A candidate may be induced to trade official acts for campaign contributions, and the bigger the contribution, the stronger both the candidate's temptation and the public's suspicion. The same statute also prevents circumvention of the contribution limits by capping political parties' coordinated expenditures with candidates. When a party makes such a coordinated expenditure, it essentially pays the candidate's bills, stepping up to fund something the candidate would otherwise have to. Without limits on those expenditures, a candidate could ask a donor to make a substantial contribution to the party so as to finance his own campaign expenses. It would then be as though the candidate contribution limits did not exist. The donor could give far more to the party than to the candidate directly, understanding that the money would be passed through to the candidates. And with that evasion of contribution limits, all the old opportunities for quid pro quo would come back into play. So Congress, sensibly enough, limited parties' coordinated expenditures by thus preventing circumvention. But today, the court rewrites the rules to allow circumvention of contribution limits. The majority invalidates Congress's restriction of coordinated expenditures, thus enabling a party to serve as an alternative checking account for a campaign. As a result, a donor will be able to give a party as much as $500,000 as compared to the $7,000 he can give directly to a candidate to cover the candidate's bills, and the candidate can seek just such a donation. So the court ushers back in the same opportunities for quid pro quo corruption that the contribution limits were meant to check. That was a solid banger. I'm not gonna lie. It's just like, contrary to the majority, nothing in the First Amendment mandates that outcome, as indeed this court has held before. First Amendment permits campaign finance restrictions that are narrowly tailored to protect against quid pro quo corruption and its appearance. So, what the fuck?
I'm kind of happy with myself right now. Just because I feel like her dissent is almost exactly what I said like 5 minutes ago.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to reread what you said, but yes, it is. I'm sorry, guys. We're just waiting on decisions, so I'm just going through the stuff we got right now. But yes. Oh, Trump v. Barbara. It up.
You got it.
What's up?
I see 7-2. Hey, Cass, what did I predict that it would be?
You know what? Don't come for me, okay? All right, let's read what it says. Children born in the United States to parents unlawfully or temporarily present are subject to the jurisdiction of the United States and are citizens per the 14th Amendment Citizenship Clause. So it was a constitutional ruling.
So this is huge. This is bigger than I was expecting. I was expecting a statutory ruling 7-2. This is a straight up constitutional ruling 7-2.
I was expecting a 5-4, but a constitutional ruling. So like maybe we're just crossing our wires like in our brains, like we were just kind of vibing there or something. But yeah. So children born in the United States to parents unlawfully or temporarily present are subject to the... Law, I feel like you made a 6-minute video like a year ago that only got like 500 views that told everybody exactly what was going to happen with this.
Oh yeah, as long as you read the Constitution. So yeah, so if it was 7-2 on constitutional grounds, it would have been 9-0 on statutory grounds, I'm sure. So this is a huge win. This is bigger than I even expected. Like I was expecting that it would be 5-4 or 6-3 on constitutional grounds. So this is even bigger with 7-2. So that's huge. So again, to explain the difference here, there's a U.S. code, I forget the number off the top of my head, that it says that that essentially is the same language as the 14th Amendment. Now, the narrower question, if the court wanted to kind of puss out a bit and say, okay, well, Trump violated his authority, his executive authority by attempting to overwrite statute. That would have been the really narrow way that they could have done it without addressing whether or not birthright citizenship is constitutional. Court went a different way on this. So they went and said, ostensibly, Cass is reading the opinion. I'm going to have to pull it up here in a minute, but that no, birthright citizenship is part of the 14th Amendment. So that's a much broader decision that prevents this from coming back again.
Hold on. This is Robert Sotomayor, Kagan Barrett Jackson. Kavanaugh concurred in part and dissented in part. So it's at best a 6-3. But my boy Gorsuch, who I swore by because he was fucking pissed when he was asking those questions, did this dog shit, and you call him a textualist, he could fuck all the way off.
Oh no!
I'm done.
You're breaking up? You're not going to try and fix him anymore?
I'm not going to try and fix him. Now I'm pissed because I listened to him multiple times. He was pissed. He was not having Sour's dog shit. All I can imagine is that somebody got him in because they're promising him something. That's all I can say. Y'all can say what you want, but they do a lot of dirty business behind closed doors. I said what I said. Because I could clock it. This is weird I don't know. A textualist my ass. Plain text of the 14th Amendment. And this motherfucker not only joined with Thomas's dissent, but he also joined with Alito's. Just saying. And he didn't concur in any part.
And what? All right, we're gonna have to look and see where Alito concurred, because that's the part that's 7-2.
Oh, no. Alito didn't concur at all.
Okay.
Kavanaugh was the one who concurred and dissented in part. So we've got Robert Sotomayor, Kagan, Barrett, Jackson, which is our 5. So this,
Yep.
Technically to me, this still is a 5-4 unconstitutional. Who called it? Who fucking called it?
Hey, well, that's what I said. I said 5-4 unconstitutional.
Fair enough. I'll take it.
We're still batting 1,000. I got it. All right. I'm at my computer. I'm gonna pull this up.
Yes.
Copy Barbara. I hate these split opinions.
Make it make sense for me. I need to know how Gorsuch could do me so wrong as a textualist.
Yeah, so who's saying it was 7-2? Because that math ain't mathin'.
Yeah, I don't know how to redo gift goals, guys. I'm sorry. If you want to gift me, you're welcome to gift me. If not, if you can just send like just a 1 penny heart me, it helps like promote the live thingy. I would appreciate it. And also gift law, because he's about to walk us through this decision like a pro. I can just read it to you. Just saying.
And make sure that we're buying Cass's kids ice cream. That's very important.
Yeah. They need it.
Well, I'll take a 5-4 on constitutional over a 9-0 on statutory any day.
Bam. That part. It's funny how they just I don't know. I'm still having to it's unsettling my spirit.
All right, so I got to look at Kavanaugh's here. So what's held? Children born in the United States to parents unlawfully or temporarily present are subject to the jurisdiction of the United States and are citizens. Citizenship clause must be understood in the light of its historical context from the English common law to the widespread condemnation of this court's decision in Dred Scott. Under English common law, born within the Dominion owed a natural allegiance to the sovereign that protected them at birth. So, okay, so that's good. Let's go down to Kavanaugh. Where is he different? Because that's what part makes it a 5-4. Opinion of Kavanaugh. Executive order establishes new exceptions to birthright citizenship. I first consider the plaintiff's statutory argument. The statute analysis is straightforward, and the court could have, and in my respectful view, should have, decided the case on that narrow ground. Okay, so he's butthurt they didn't do the statutory route and they went with the constitutional route.
We did call that one too,
Yep.
because he was a little, so still nailed it. Okay.
Yep. So then he goes on, history, court's decision. Importantly, moreover, however, Executive Order number 14160 sought to add two new exceptions to birthright citizenship for children born to foreign citizens who are either illegally or temporarily in the United States. In doing so, the Executive Order goes beyond what the statute authorizes. Okay, we get it. You don't like the statute. I next address the 14th Amendment issue. As revealed by the court's opinion with its detailed account of history and precedent, and by its, this is a 194-page opinion, y'all. This is gonna, I'm not gonna get through all of it live. In any event, because the court addresses the Constitution and because I respectfully disagree with its analysis on that highly consequential issue, I will address it briefly. Or I will briefly address it. Ratified. Oh, God damn it. Just tell me what you think. To spell it out, the Constitution is an enduring document. Its principles were designed to and do apply to modern conditions and developments. That original constitutional principle does not change absent a constitutional amendment, but the relevant principles, both the rules and the exceptions alike, must be faithfully applied not only in circumstances that existed in 1787 when the Constitution was passed, 1791 when the Bill of Rights was ratified. I'm adding in that extra text. And 1868, which is when the 14th Amendment was passed, for example, but also to modern situations that were unknown or unanticipated by the Constitution's framers. Stated otherwise, the meaning of the rule is constant. Only their application to new situations presents a novelty. He's citing Antonin Scalia there. That's his book. Reading Law. It's actually a really good book.
I have it. It is a good book.
In Fourth Amendment cases, for example, okay, I really don't care. The citizenship clause of Section 1 of the 14th Amendment is no different. The court's 1898 decision in Wong Kim Ark recognizes four exceptions that existed as of the 14th Amendment's ratification. Therefore, under the basic tenets of constitutional interpretation, other exceptions can be recognized when the new exceptions are based on the subsequent developments of or circumstances that are new, largely unknown, and unanticipated. Blah, blah, blah. Okay. Here, the principle would support additional exemptions for children born to foreign citizens that are unlawfully or temporarily in the United States. Interesting. Where are you going with that? I'm skimming real quick because he's going back into the history.
No, I got you. It's hard to read through them all. Yeah.
Yeah. For those reasons, executive order does not violate the 14th Amendment, but the order does contravene. Oh, this might just be a statutory ruling, Cass, but how did we get to the holding then?
No.
Oh, okay. So we have
the
right.
opinion.
So we have 5-4 on the Constitution, and we have 6-4 or 6-3 on the statutory.
Hey, Jenna, I promise I'll bring people up, but I want to let Law kind of get through this before we start throwing questions at him while he's trying to read through it, because he's trying to take us through it.
I'm not going to go over the dissents right now just because they don't matter. I'll skim through them while we're having a conversation. But essentially, this says that the federal government can't deny U.S. citizenship at birth just because the parents are undocumented, unlawfully present, whether they're temporarily present, whether they're non-citizens, and the domiciled thing doesn't matter either. They made a big deal about that in oral arguments. So
they didn't have one.
Yeah, so we have a 5-4 decision that the 14th Amendment protects anybody born in the United States, regardless of those categories. We have a 6-3 decision that Trump's executive order violated the statute.
I'm just saying, just for everybody's edification, let's read this particular clause. All persons born or naturalized in the United States and subject to the jurisdiction thereof are citizens of the United States and of the state wherein they reside. This is what my textualist thought wasn't very textual. Listen, I can give it to the originalists that they want to dive into that dog shit and like fucking split hairs all day, but this kind of waffling is making me mad. Gorsuch is my biggest letdown. I was even thinking Barrett might be a little bit more. I'm pissed. Yeah, this is 5-4. This is really exciting. I don't know how Kavanaugh, Alito, Thomas, and Gorsuch, all of which went to law school, have spent years as attorneys, judges, thought that an EO could subvert clear plain text. I can't fathom why that would happen. Like, Alito and Thomas, they just lick Trump toes all the time, so that's not shocking for me. But this?
So this might make you feel a little bit better. Gorsuch is focusing on the domiciled portion, and basically he's arguing that the 14th Amendment applies if you are like living here, like if you've lived here for a while, if you've got a home here, you're paying rent, that's going to apply. Where he's dissenting is the like somebody who's just here like visiting Disneyland and has a kid, and that they're given birthright citizenship. So he's leaning on the domicile, but not necessarily in a way that I can actually understand this argument. I can understand that if you're going to apply domiciled as it was in ARC, then that means you've got a house here, like you've got an apartment, you've got some sort of mailing address here. Then you're domiciled here, and you're entitled to the 14th Amendment protections. Where he's dissenting is this idea that you hop across the border, you're here for 10 minutes and you have a kid, and now that kid's an American citizen. So I don't know if that helps your relationship at all, but that's my read of it.
You know what? Quit making fun of me. I could change him, baby. Anyway, no, I'm just kidding. But either way, like, it's just disappointing for me after listening to him go so hard with Sauer, and like really just the vibe was that you're full of shit. And like, I'm more inclined to be like, Barrett is going to be the swing vote, but on that one, Gorsuch was my swing vote. I guess that's why I'm disappointed. I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed. I'm gonna pull a Kagan on him. Sorry. Okay.
Jenna asks if birth tourism is very low. Yes, that's true, but that doesn't matter to Gorsuch. Gorsuch wants a rule that applies to everybody, that's consistent with his interpretation of the text. So, so I don't hate it as much. I know that he hurt you for the last time, Cass, and I'm sorry. But yeah, I think this is at least a defensible originalist position, even if I disagree with it.
Well, he's not a fucking originalist. That's what bugs me the most. He's probably a very I'm not saying he can't, I'm not saying he can't have originalist things that he looks at, but he's looking at that plain text and telling me that he's worried about somebody running over the border and popping out a kid 10 minutes after they enter the country. Most of them are domiciled here. I'm not saying weird shit doesn't happen. I'm not saying that we couldn't potentially fix that part of the amendment. Like, if you're just talking about people that come over here and just kind of land and like, it happens, I can understand that being maybe a slightly reasonable argument, but most of them are domiciled here, which is what is crazy to me. I'm being too logical, y'all. Anyway, so Law and I are unmatched. We're 10 out of 10. I don't think we've called one case wrong.
No, to be fair, we were a little cagey on some cases, so we weren't planting a firm flag. But of the ones we did call, we were right.
I'm telling you, we got to start a pool. I think we could do it. Everybody, if you follow me or follow law, I do cases, oral arguments. Once we get back into the Real Housewives of SCOTUS season, I'll be doing those. I do landmark cases while we're off season. But you know, give us a follow because he's usually here when I do those, unless he's doing other shit or, you know, he has a life and things like that. But
the chat's yelling at you to check your texts.
What? Oh my God.
Oh, live is paused. All right, everybody. While Cass is gone, let's get to tapping. We got 110 people in here, so let's have her come back to at least 35K. We can do that real quick. Everybody do a rush tap. If you haven't sent your daily heart me, please do so that we can boost this out as we law nerd out to this decision. Let's see.
I got you, Ken. Yeah, I mean, there is birth tourism. I have no problem putting some like level of restriction in place for birthright, like because that's obvious taking advantage of the system. Like I'm okay saying that. I don't think that that's a wild take. I'm also not some radical person who's not against border security. I just don't like ICE, you know, violating people's fundamental rights, or Trump just being like, you can't be here, bye. I'm not cool with that. But I think like at the end of the day, it's just such a small amount versus the actual amount of births we have. Like I'm so unworried about it. So, okay, we got Birthright. Birthright was a 5-4 on constitutional grounds. That motherfucker, you're violating the 14th Amendment. We also got our Citizens United 2.0, which says parties can basically do quid pro quo shit. And then we also got our transgender athletes cases, which refused to answer the 14th Amendment question at all, at fucking all, and just address the Title IX issue. What a bunch of babies. Why not just address the 14th Amendment issue? I don't understand that. That was the question that was presented in both those cases, not just one.
Yeah, I agree.
So if do you want to take any questions or people, or what do you want to do? I don't know.
Yeah, I'm still reading through the decision, so I'm not looking at the at the chat. But if you want to bring people up or read questions, I'm happy to answer.
I'm
nerding out here.
Law's like, I got this decision. Okay, if you want to come up and ask Law a question, or God forbid it's a question I can answer, as his certified paralegal, I don't give legal advice, but I can read things to you. Please go ahead and put in your request. Let's see what we got in here. I don't think I know any of these people. So yeah.
Alito's dissent is unhinged.
Oh God, hold on. Come on, you gotta like read it to me like it's a bedtime story. I love when it's pissy.
So he's going with the not subject to any foreign power, and he says that, well, hey, if you're born here, and you've got jus sanguine, which right of the blood, citizenship, they can come and call you into service in their home countries or whatever. The thing is that also applies to legal immigrants. So if we're going with he's saying that the children of legal immigrants aren't citizens either, because they still have subject to a foreign power because they're still citizens of their home countries.
Oh, Tommy, I don't know what you got going on, baby, but
yeah, Cass, I didn't mean.
Sorry, I thought you were like doing other stuff and like pocket requested because I've been there. Sorry guys. Hey Cass. Or I'm sorry, I don't know why I saw you say Cass Wawa and then I said I'm sorry. Hi, Wawa. How are you? Okay, so this is a banger decision today. Even though the other ones were pretty fucking shitty, this is nice. Alito is big sad, so that's always good for Cass. And then Gorsuch, the person I actually took over Amy Coney Barrett to be more inclined to, because he's a textualist, not side with the Trump administration, not only signed on to Thomas's 91-page dissent, but Alito's crazy dog shit too. I'm getting burned me once.
Oh my goodness. I'm glad that you are talking because I ended my live and I told everybody I was coming over here.
Well, welcome, Wawa crowd.
I was like, come on, we'll go to Cass because I have to get some work done. But 4 for 4, Law. 4 for 4 today.
Yeah, we called him. Yeah.
What level of lawyer are we now?
Yeah, we're at level 8, I guess. Cass, we were in Wawa's live, and she was playing through the oral arguments, and then so I hopped up there after it was done just to chat a bit, and like, there's somebody in the comments like, "What level of lawyer are you?" And we're like I don't know, is it like Pikachu or Charizard? Like what level? Is it 7, 6? How do we know what level of lawyers we are? But I think we just leveled up.
Were you jumping and catching coins and going to the pipe like?
Oh yeah, I didn't even think about that level.
I want an infinity stone. Like if there's levels to this,
yeah,
I want a stone. Okay, but it was a good day. I mean,
not good, but good for our legal acumen, I would say.
Correct. It's that because of the trans. Yeah, I guess I can say it that way. It was not an unexpected day, but it was. They avoided the statutory law. They went right at the Constitution.
We did get the constitutional one, which I was not expecting. I thought they were going to take the cheap, easy way out. So pleasant surprise there.
I was like, oh my goodness, does Roberts actually care about his legacy?
I told you he was blazing Trump toes yesterday because he had to fucking give him something. So he's like, you know what? Fire these motherfuckers, but we're gonna keep the babies in the United States. I'm okay with that. Listen, do I want people fired? Do I want distrust in agencies? Not necessarily, but I can sleep okay with that. I would not be able to sleep okay if there were babies here that just weren't citizens anymore. That's crazy, personally fucking crazy to me. Hi, Ken.
Honestly, any other decision would have probably made me question my entire profession.
Yeah, no. If I was gonna start a one-woman march, if this shit popped off in a different way,
there would have been 2 of us. Okay.
Okay, 2-woman march. I didn't think it would, but I was like, you gotta have a fallback plan. And I was like, I'm gonna turn to one, and I'm gonna be on a 1-woman march. That's what I'm gonna do. But now it's 2. What's going on, Ken?
Hello, Law. Y'all doing all right?
Hey, Ken. It's a good morning.
Hi, Ken. I don't think I know you.
Hi, Wawa.
Jenna, if you want to come up and ask your question, you're very welcome to. Sorry, I was just trying to let Law kind of get through what he was trying to get through. So, we all know what's going on.
Law, I know you're still reading it, but is there anything in the opinions and decisions that you weren't expecting?
Gorsuch.
Yeah, Gorsuch for sure. But after reading his dissent, I understand how he got there.
Gorsuch didn't file a dissent. Kavanaugh filed a dissent. And then
I thought Alito and Gorsuch.
Gorsuch's got a 3-page dissent.
Yeah.
Oh, so okay. When I was reading this, it said Kavanaugh filed an opinion concurring in judgment and dissenting in part. Thomas filed a dissenting opinion in which Gorsuch joined. Alito,
it's the way they wrote that last sentence.
Okay, I read it wrong because I thought Alito filed the dissent and then Gorsuch signed on to it. So that was my bad. I apologize.
Yeah. So the last sentence was odd.
Yeah, it was worded weird.
Yeah, so Kavanaugh says this should have been a statute case. So that was his. Thomas is saying that citizenship requires birth and domicile in the United States. Temporary visitors aren't children, or temporary visitors' children aren't considered by constitutional command. He goes into something where he talks about being within the jurisdiction is not the same thing as being subject to the jurisdiction. That's kind of Thomas's. And then Gorsuch elaborated more on the facial challenge problem, but then he does kind of endorse this notion that long-term people who are domiciled here do have birthright citizenship. So like if you've got a mailing address here, then you're domiciled and it qualifies.
What about
Alito,
a PO box?
yeah, maybe. Alito kind of went off on a whole wild ass tangent about saying that
I'm gonna read that after this.
if you're subject to a foreign power, so if you're a citizen of another country, I don't know how that interacts with dual citizenship, but if you're a citizen of another country, you don't have birthright citizenship because you still owe allegiance to a foreign power.
I hate it here. By the way, just by the by, while we're talking about this, did anybody catch the video yesterday where Thomas was heading into the Republican Senate offices?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I absolutely did catch that. And I was like, what you doing there?
And I asked him, who are you meeting with? He said, nobody.
Yeah.
I was like,
you just going for a walk?
It's just so weird because when you see him, like in videos, I mean, for the most part, I'm sure he has his moments, but at least when I see him in videos, he just kind of seems like somebody's really nice grandpa. And then he just writes this wild dog shit. And I'm like, I don't know you at all. Like,
I had a friend who worked at a RV campsite. I think it was like in Wyoming or maybe Montana. And he was just a young kid at the time, but he talked about this really nice old black guy and his wife that were there. It wasn't for years later that he recognized that it was Clarence Thomas. That it was during the summer spending his in his RV over at this campsite. He said he was just a delightful person, had everybody laughing and smiling all the time. So, take that for what it's worth.
I'm just gonna put this out there. If you do have quick questions, I'm gonna clear the queue real quick. Sorry, because I've had people requesting off and on. I'm gonna clear the queue. If you do have a quick question, put in a request. I'm sure one or more of the attorneys would be happy to answer for you. Maybe Pastor Ken can answer it too. And I just fucking work here, y'all. I'm just working the door.
Alito retiring though?
No. NPR posted it in error, they said.
In error is crazy. So what does that mean? For real?
Honest to God, that was my
Is
first
it just
thought.
early?
It means somebody leaked it too soon.
That was
Yes.
my
Exactly.
first thought when I saw Thomas in there yesterday.
Well,
Was
and so
Thomas was retiring.
that was going to be one of my questions. What would a Supreme Court justice be doing walking into a Senate Republican's office?
The jury's out, Ken.
I mean,
talking about who he wants to replace him.
But isn't that some sort of impropriety though? Wouldn't that have to happen in his office?
Illegal.
Yeah.
He probably shouldn't.
I really don't like how little we actually regulate what the Supreme Court can and can't do.
Real quick, guys. I'm sorry. I don't know what your name is. I'm gonna call you Glock. I'm cool with that. What's up, buddy?
What's up? Sorry, I run a gaming page, so I know this is that's why my name is that way. But my quick question was, well, first off, I wanted to say that I was holding my breath all morning during the birthright citizenship case, and that's because it would have directly impacted one of my family members.
I'm so sorry.
Yes, so I was literally holding my breath all morning long, and thankfully, as I mentioned, they sided with us. But my quick question was that how far, like, generations were they going to go back? Were they going to go back at all?
It was not going to be retroactive at all.
It was, yeah. There was no retroactivity, but frankly, if they had sided with them, I could see a position where potentially there could be.
That question came up in oral arguments too, and it's one of my concerns because if we say yes, the executive order is valid, then we are saying that the president gets to dictate when birthright citizenship applies, and if he can dictate that through executive order, he can roll it back through executive order.
Okay, so that would have, possibly, however he wanted to write it up, that could have probably affected me too, because
Yeah, absolutely. Because yeah,
I'm
I'm
also
sorry.
because I'm Filipino. My family came over from the Philippines. My great grandmother was born in Brooklyn as my great great grandmother moved from the Philippines. So I was just only a few generations behind, really.
Yeah.
And my grandmother told me that my great great grandmother was a temporary citizen when she had her. So I was very, very, very concerned this morning.
Yeah, and so the order itself said that it was prospective. So everybody who was sitting there saying, "Nah, it only applies prospective," they're missing the forest through the trees, because this has happened in other cases too, where the court they mentioned one in the oral arguments. I can't think of it off the top of my head, but where the court has endorsed some executive authority, and then the executive went back and expanded their authority. Again, just this isn't a very hard line of logic to follow. If there's no constitutional protection to birthright citizenship and SCOTUS endorsed the executive order, that means that the executive order gets to control whether or not birthright citizenship exists. And if it says it's if 14160 said that it's prospective, then 15160 could have said, never mind, you never had it in the first place.
I want to just take a real quick pause now. I'm so sorry, Glock. I promise I will let you go in a minute. I do not get political on SCOTUS slides, or at least try not to very often. But I want to emphasize how important it is, since we have an Alito leak that may be retiring, and we saw Thomas just waltzing into Republican offices yesterday, that not only do you go vote in midterms, but that you make sure, particularly if you're in Texas, because I know you're on that bullshit, some of y'all, you go vote for Tallarico. I don't care fucking what you do. We need majority in the Senate. And like when I say we, I just mean people with sanity. I don't mean people on the left. I just mean people who are like human and have empathy and don't want dog shit happening to their neighbors. Like I feel like that's pretty normal, but MAGA's made it not normal. But listen, if there's anything you can do, get your ass out and go vote in those fucking midterms. Thanks so much for my quick break. Black, go ahead.
So yes, I know. Unfortunately, I do live in Texas. Where a lot of stuff going on where I don't agree, but I do follow Tallarico. And he'll be receiving my vote in November. But another quick little question I wanted to ask was, if I remember correctly, because if I can think about it off the top of my head, but Thomas, he irks me. There's a way that even though they have lifetime roles, they can still be impeached. Is that correct?
Yeah, and I wanted to tag back to that, to something that Ken was saying earlier, that he doesn't like the level of oversight. And our founding fathers never anticipated that one branch of the government would be entirely cuckolded to another branch. And that's where the issue is, because the Congress has the power of the purse. They can, if they don't like what SCOTUS is doing, all of a sudden they start getting funding cuts. That doesn't even require impeachment. Sorry, we're not going to approve your pay raises, or, we're going to cut your staff allowance, things like that. Or they could go the route of impeachment in light of high crimes and misdemeanors. Or they could just nominate and put through people who are appropriately qualified for the job, not what we're seeing right now with Trump's judicial appointments, who can't answer who won the 2020 election.
Bingo.
Exactly. Yeah. No, I've been seeing those clips across TikTok where there's appointees, there's nominees for for that type of role, and they can't even tell you like who won the 2020 election. Yeah, no. So I'm with you on that. It's just I mean, just for the time being, he irks me. And, hopefully by 2026, 2028, when we win, us Democrats, we win the majority, I want to move towards impeachment. And I guarantee you that's why he was on Capitol Hill. Was it yesterday? I think it was yesterday. He was talking. I bet you he was going over like the cases today with
That
them.
it's possible it was that. I thought about that, or he's talking about potential replacements as well said. But let me tell you something. Alito's really fond of leaking his shit. Like, I don't care what anybody says. I know it was him and I don't care. I will scream it from the rooftops. He leaked that shit.
You think Dobbs or this?
Dobbs and this. Dobbs and this. He was so fucking proud
You're
of
probably
himself.
not wrong. Yeah, you're probably not wrong. I think though, the fact that this is all being discussed right now means that they're scared about the midterms.
Oh, yeah, they are. Yeah, they are.
I know that's why they have to change the rules. They know they're going to lose the midterms. That's why they're changing the rules. Hence the the birthright citizenship case could affect the millions of Americans too. And
The biggest issue they're going to have is in the Senate, though. I need everybody out there. If you have an eligible Democratic candidate running for Senate, minus Graham Plattner, because I don't endorse Nazi tattoos and I don't care who you are, please go vote for them. Thanks so much.
So
Well, also, I just don't want people to like presuppose that the Democrats have it in the bag. So, like, actually go out and vote. Part of the thing that happens is there's a lot of like lazy. Oh, they're gonna lose. They're scared. Yeah, they're scared. But if you think that they're scared and don't show up, they might be just okay.
Oh, yeah, always show up. Sorry, I wasn't trying to say they just had it in. Yeah, but I got you. I think they're just much more likely to retake the House. I'm sorry, Law. Go ahead, Beck.
Trump has three truths today. One posted an hour ago. That's a news article that says Trump's efforts to reverse birthright citizenship may succeed with or without SCOTUS, and he links to an article. Congress doesn't matter what the Birthright Citizenship app says. It's a constitutional right. So there's that. And 28 minutes ago, big win. The United States Supreme Court just ruled against men playing in women's sports. It's a little reductive, but fine. 18 minutes ago, Supreme Court just took restrictions off political spending. A big win for Republicans. And more importantly, the First Amendment. Then he's been oddly quiet.
Because he's preparing for that press conference and 4-hour cry sesh we're about to see. And if I didn't have kids all day, I would air that shit, because dollars to donuts, he is going to be crying all over the internet in the next hour or two. Because I don't know if y'all remember Terrace. He didn't tweet much after that, but we saw him live on air within the hour. So just saying. Listen, guys, I get your feeling on Plattner. You want to go vote for him? Go vote for him. I'm just not endorsing him. That's my beginning and end, and I will not do it. Just to be clear. You say we need him, he's going to be another Fetterman, if not worse.
They are so mad at Barrett. They have been mad at Barrett for 2 days for no reason.
They're always mad at Barrett. The amount of Twitter hate I see for her, when her and Roberts have the exact same opinion on something, they will dog on Barrett all day because she's a woman.
Oh, exactly. That's who she aligns with, though. So maybe.
No, I mean, yeah, it's fuck around and find out, right? But it's like they never go for Robert's throat, but they're all over there. She was a DEI, blah 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 blah, and I'm like, you voted for that shit, so
Exactly, live with it.
I mean, I like her more and more as a justice, because I do feel like she's a critical swing vote. Now, do I agree with everything she does? No, but I can appreciate her as being more inclined to like not just lick Trump toes. I can respect that to some extent, but at the same time, it's like, these are your people. But I think she's probably unbothered and not on Twitter and has a lot of armed security. So to be fair to her, she's probably just not worried about it at all.
Yeah, in her book, she says she turns pretty much a blind eye to any of the public criticism. Like she doesn't see it. She doesn't care about it.
Well, if you don't have haters, I don't know if you're living life right, you know?
Well, and I
I
think
don't
that's
see it.
important for a Supreme Court justice to be able to have thick skin, unlike our current president.
Oh, that fucking man. So after midterms, shit's gonna get real because Trump's gonna start pulling all his dog shit. But just watch out for what's gonna happen in the next few months leading up to this. Be careful. At least we know mail-in ballots now received after election day, but postmarked by are good. So we're okay on that.
E. Jean Carroll's getting her $5 million.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Law. This was a topic of discussion with Barrister yesterday, and he's not sure. He says he doesn't think this one will affect the 83 million, but he's not sure. What's your opinion? Will this decision affect the 83 million decision that he's still trying to appeal?
Probably not, just
No.
because there were 3 very specific grounds that he was seeking relief on. That the court improperly instructed the jury as to the SA as it involved with the other people, the other 2 women that testified about their encounters with him, that
Yep.
conduct wasn't actually SA. They objected to him actually them being allowed to testify. And then there's one other thing that slips my mind right now,
Well,
but
so
all of them were hyper specific to that case.
Barrister did say specifically that he thinks that he'll get it appealed because of how high it is, how high the judgment is,
That
and
was
Yeah,
that the jury is being too punitive.
Yeah, I would agree with that assessment. I called that with the Trump fraud case, when that was hundreds of millions of dollars versus, it's very common for very high jury verdicts to get reduced on appeal. So I would agree that that's likely going to happen.
That's what I was.
Yeah, he said the only thing he knows for sure is that the total will be dropped.
Well, yeah, 65 million in punitive damages is a lot.
Yeah, I mean, most states cap the punitive damages to a certain multiplier of the actual damages.
Yep. Anyway, yeah, honestly, okay. Go ahead.
See, did that cut out for me?
Oh, Ken's cutting out. I thought it was my country Wi-Fi.
Can you guys hear me? Sorry about that.
Not this time.
No, it was me. My apologies. My apologies. I have one more question related to that. If Donald Trump continues to defame her, could they potentially keep the total?
It's not part of the facts of that case.
No, it would have to be a new a new case if he has new defamation acts.
But even that, nothing's gonna deter Trump. Like, just keep fucking suing him. Like, at this point, I just don't know. Like, he's just gonna continue to do his dog shit, and sometimes you just have to read a Trump tweet and go on about your day. I do like when he's on the TV crying. That makes me like low-key happy. I really want to read Alito's dissent where he just like crashes the fuck out in Birthright because Law said it was like he was losing his mind. And bye, Ken. I want to read that because any bad day for Alito is a good day for me. Does anybody else have any more questions or anything like that? Because if you do, need a request up.
I'm good.
And really quick, because of um, Trump not being criminally convicted, because of the E. Jean Carroll case. If I remember correctly, was it because of statute of limitations, because of how long it happened, or a while ago when it happened?
Yes.
Okay.
So there were two E. Jean Carroll cases. Both of them were civil cases because it was beyond the statute of limitations for a criminal case. And even if you change the statute of limitations, you can't apply it to crimes that happened before the date that the new statute was enacted. But the first case was the defamation case. That was the 70 whatever million dollar one. That had to do with him calling her a liar and a lot of other things in response to her book. But then New York changed the statute of limitations for SA claims with the Adult Survivors Act. Everybody says they changed it for Trump, but this was actually more geared towards victims of the church. And over 2,000 people got relief under the Adult Survivors Act that weren't named E. Jean Carroll. But when that second case was filed, the first case, the defamation case, was stayed because it would have been the nature of the truth of the allegations were going to be dependent on that second case. So Carroll 2 was actually heard first, and that's when he got held civilly liable for SA for engaging in acts that we would all colloquially and what New York law recognizes now as grape. That was the E. Jean Carroll 2 case, and then they went back and tried the first case, and that's when she got the larger money settlement. She got $5 million for defamation in Carroll 2, and then 80 or 78 or whatever it was in Carroll 1.
86 million.
You know, I always thought it was funny where, you know, he had a chance to prove his innocence when they asked for a DNA test and he just rejected it. You know,
until two weeks
guilty
before
man
trial.
does that. No
Wait, he
guilty man
doesn't
does
have
that.
to. I'm like, maybe this is my lawyer brain. He doesn't have to prove his innocence. It's Trump, but we still live in America.
Yeah,
Well, I tell people what I would have told my clients. He was maintaining that he had never met her. So if I had a client that was being requested to give it up, I would tell him, if you were telling me there is absolutely zero chance you have ever been in the same room of this woman, go ahead and offer it up, because that's a slam dunk to keep that excluded and out of the eyes of the jury. Even the notion that there's a male DNA there. But I would also tell them, if there's a chance that she was at a party with you and you didn't even know she was there, don't do it. So I don't necessarily fault him for that. The defense doesn't have to prove anything, but I would add that big caveat there that I wouldn't do it unless there was a 100% certain chance that they had never met, which is something he maintained for the entirety of the case.
Yeah, no,
which is an actual lie, though.
Yeah, because they're photographed together.
Yeah, I'm about to say
Exactly.
they're photographed together. So like he never met her. Yeah, they're photographed. It's documented.
Don't believe your eyes.
Let me tell you something. Had it have been me, I would have paid any amount of money, given any amount of DNA to clear my fucking name.
Exactly. I understand that the defense is like they don't have to prove anything, but a non-guilty person will do whatever they can do to clear their name.
That's
You're stabbing me in my lawyer heart right now, because like nothing in my body agrees with that.
I'm sorry. That's why I didn't study law.
No, even if I'm innocent, I don't got to give the government my gosh damn bodily fluids. Let them prove their case.
This wasn't the government, though, but yeah,
Yeah.
I do feel you.
What's up,
And
YouTube?
and really quick, I'm gonna go ahead and hop off the live, but I really appreciate y'all for letting me up. But I wanted to let you know that I am well aware about. I know you mentioned earlier, like what he's trying to do leading up to the midterms. I mean, I already know the redistricting efforts. Of course, the attack on mail-in ballots, which completely makes no sense. I mean, earlier this year, didn't he vote by mail too?
Well,
Yes.
I was saying this earlier, that 60% of the precincts in Minnesota are mail-in only. There isn't a polling place because the county seat is a shack in the middle of some city, and a lot of people live dozens, if not hundreds of miles away from the county seat. And those areas overwhelmingly voted for Trump. So it is kind of funny that a lot of these rural areas that do mail in ballots would only hurt Republicans.
Yeah, it that argument just never made no sense. And I always thought, like, it's funny that um before Trump came into office, like, elections were like, we had no problems with elections. I mean, now a serial liar is trying to, you know, get into people's heads and rewire their brain as far as, like, the outcome of recognizing the outcome of elections. I mean, everything's been fair because I've been seeing this across social media and even looking it up myself. But as far as election fraud for like the past 40 years, there's only been like 100 cases, right? Like around 100 cases.
It's a very
It's
Of
insignificant
exceptionally
number.
prosecuted.
rare. I took an election law course in law school and learned just how like insignificant it is. Like it's very rare. The real issues are like money and, and
Yeah,
lobbying and all of those
yeah,
things.
no, exactly. It is very rare, and like I think it was just about 100 cases, since the 1980s, the past 40 years, and like all elections have literally been fair.
Well, and
It's
and when you think it through the logic, because what they think is happening and what the general public thinks mail-in ballots are happening is a ballot shows up and it just gets counted. But anybody who's done mail-in ballots will tell you there's two envelopes there. One is your voter registration envelope that you have your voter registration information on, so they know who it is. And the inside of that is the secret ballot, because we don't tie your ballot to who voted for you. So the voter registration information, when they receive that, they actually check and make sure you're registered to vote. Because if they get a ballot from somebody who's not registered to vote, or maybe they're a prohibited felon, or in some states they can actually prohibit you from voting if you owe back child support, they check all of that to make sure that your vote is eligible to be counted. Once they confirm that, then they take the secret ballot and feed that into the machine. That's how the mail-in ballots work. Now, in order to orchestrate some kind of a massive scheme, you would have to identify people who are registered to vote but aren't actually going to vote. You would have to somehow know that by the thousands or millions, and then put in ballots on their behalf. Like, the type of scheme that would have to happen for this to be even remotely applicable to the scale of an election is just mind-boggling, and people just don't understand that it's not an issue.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with everything that you said. Um, and literally the Save Act, it literally creates a problem where nothing exists. Like, it literally makes no sense. I mean, even when I went to the primaries back in March for the state of Texas, like, um, of course, I voted for Chadarico over Crockett for Senate. I mean, I like Crockett. I like Jasmine Crockett. She was, both of them kind of had the same message, but I just went Talarico route. But even when I went to go vote, like, I gave him my registration, card that, I'm allowed to vote. I registered to vote back in 2016, and it's still the same thing. Um, and then I had to show my ID that was me. That was it. Like,
Yeah, well, because you're already registered, right?
yeah, exactly.
You showed your ID and they confirmed. I live in Minnesota. We don't have voter ID. What you do is you show up and then you give your name and they ask you to confirm your address. You confirm your address and then they give you your little slip to go get your ballots. Now, but the thing is, if somebody, if Law of the Wild shows up and gets his ballot, and then somebody else 2 hours later shows up and says, "Hi, I'm Law of the Wild, and here's my address," they're going to look and say, "Oh, well, it says here you already voted," and then that's when an investigation, and that's how these 100 instances of fraud happen, because they find out that two people with the same name voted, and they do an investigation, or they find out, hey, we got a ballot for somebody who is no longer with us, and they passed away prior to this ballot being cast, and then they go and investigate it and find out that it was a woman who voted for Donald Trump because she knew that her mom really would have wanted to vote for Trump. That those are the types of things that actually get caught.
Hi, yeah. Chi-Chi, what's up, bud?
Hey, just came in to say hi. I'm sick, but hey.
What up?
Sorry to hear that.
We got Birthright today. 5-4, constitutional grounds. Cast hold it. I
I'm
said
gonna
yes.
I'm gonna read the opinion before I talk about it. But I just came in to say what up, say good morning. I'm probably gonna dip, but I love you guys.
Yeah,
Good
you
to
too.
see you,
Good to see you.
bud.
All right, bye bye.
He must have had a late night.
Apparently.
He usually does. He's up pretty late on his lives.
I know I go in there with my insomnia sometimes. It's great. Um, Glock, did you have anything else, bud? You got any more questions or anything?
No, that was particularly the birthright. Um, the birthright citizenship was really my main question, because I just didn't know, like, if it was gonna affect me, or for like, or just affect that particular family member of mine.
Yeah, listen, buddy, we've all got those decisions that are like super close to our heart. Sometimes you got to read a Supreme Court decision and just go on with your day. But like, I get that. That was the one I was concerned about. I was concerned about the mail-in ballot case, which came back good. And then my other two were Calais, or other three, sorry, Calais, the geofence warrants, and then the Citizens United 2.0. Two of those didn't work out in my favor, but chips fall where they may, man. Okay. Sorry, somebody was requesting, but yeah, I mean, I'm glad that you got your questions answered, and like, I guess, guys, like, again, I don't really like politics on the court lives, but I will say this right now: legality and politics are kind of unfortunately interwoven. And I can just say that if you don't like shit that's going on, or you don't want another conservative justice on the court to replace Thomas or Alito, which we highly speculate are going to be retiring since Alito just leaked his shit. He can say somebody else did it. He leaked that shit. Go vote, particularly your Senate vote. Go fucking vote. Please, dear God. I'm
Oh, believe
begging.
me, I've been waiting for this moment since the clown got elected president. So I've been waiting
Yeah.
for this moment.
Well, and I'll just chime in there too. Is I'm not a partisan. I'm not a Democrat. But I abhor what this administration has been doing to our Constitution and our rights. So even if you don't like the Democrat Party, if you've got some things that you don't like about them, then at the very least, hopefully you can appreciate that what the executive is doing is detrimental to our country, and there needs to be a counterbalance to that. And guess what? All of the, if you're worried about universal health care, or, millionaires getting taxed more, all of that, Trump can veto those bills. He's still going to do that. You don't have to worry about your nightmare scenarios of Democrats. But one thing you will get for voting for Democrats this year, particularly in the Senate, is a counterbalance to this insane administration putting up judges who can't admit, people who are supposed to be objective in the eyes of the law and apply the law as it's written, who can't admit who won the 2020 election. That's who we're getting on the bench for lifetime sentences. That can't happen. So even if you have to plug your nose, at the very least, just do it on the federal races, so that we can add a counterbalance to this insanity that's happening at the executive.
No, and I'm with you. I'm with you too. I mean, it's just unbelievable, like how, like, every single day this administration violates the Constitution, violates laws, because they know what they're doing too. I mean, Mike Johnson wouldn't have said that, um, that if Democrats were to win the midterms, we're going to launch full on investigations into every single one of them. I mean, no, I'm aware of the wrongdoing
No,
that they have been doing, and then how
we're not just
unqualified.
talking to you though, buddy. We're talking to everybody in here.
Yes, no, and then even unqualified too, like Pete Hegseth. I mean, the new the new national director of intelligence doesn't have any experience whatsoever.
You mean the
You
sec
know?
def?
Huh?
You mean the sec def?
Yes.
Okay,
The,
sorry.
Sec
the
war.
yeah, yeah, and then I
He's
mean,
never led more than a fucking platoon. He can't do shit.
yeah, and then
Sorry.
you're
I'm
good.
gonna
You're
I'm
good.
gonna get banned for talking shit on Higgs today, y'all.
No, yeah, and then I always took issue with Pam Bondi over the Epstein files and her mishandling, and even Todd Blanche himself, like mishandling Epstein files and not even releasing the other half of the
Let me
documents to public.
let me tell you this.
Yeah,
The
the acting
Epstein.
DNI. Sorry,
Okay.
sorry, I was talking to the comments.
Anyway, so yeah, Pam Bondi and the Epstein file dog shittery was actually the least of my worries with her. It was the fact that she was fucking incompetent at her job altogether. Just altogether. She was
Agreed.
playing cat and mouse with Minnesota when they had unalivings by ICE in the state. To release your voter rolls and then we'll help you out. Like, fuck her. I'm glad she's gone. Todd Blanche is somehow collectively worse though. Like, I thought he was gonna pull Paxton Law. I didn't know there was somebody worse on this earth than Ken Paxton, but I think I found him in Todd Blanche. It's almost a miracle if it wasn't so sad. I don't know.
Just to put it nicely, just a bunch of bootlickers. That's all. That's putting it nicely.
I agree. Listen, I'm gonna go back to the voting thing real quick.
Okay.
Yeah, if anybody knows and follows my page, you know who I voted for because I live in Texas. And even if you had added in every single third party vote, Trump still would have won this state by more than 1 million votes. So I stand by my sweet meter of death vote and I really don't give a fuck. And listen, I have my own issues with Democrats and Republicans, more with Republicans, not even gonna lie. But here's the thing. I despise Gavin Newsom. Like, just as a governor, I just don't think he's good. You live in Cali, whatever, I can take your hate. But if we get Talarico to win this Texas Senate seat, I will walk my ass down if Democrats put him on the ballot, and I will vote for him while I hold my nose. That's a bet. And that's probably the worst thing I could imagine. I'm
No,
hoping they run Andy Bashir. That's my,
no, yeah, he is on the ballot. He's running against Ken Paxton for.
yeah, I know
She,
Talarico's
she,
on the
she meant for
ballot.
president.
Oh,
Like,
sorry.
yeah.
Yeah, sorry, I'm slow.
No, you're good. Yeah, I will take my ass down and go vote for Gavin Newsom. And Law probably knows me better than most of y'all, and he knows that's a stretch for me. So, yeah, I'll do it. Why would I hate Talarico? I'm telling people if we get Talarico to win the state, what the hell are you talking about, Blue Eyes?
Yeah, she didn't like Gavin Newsom, is what she was saying. She loves
Yeah.
Talarico.
I mean, like, I like Talarico. I would have voted for either one, honestly. Like, it wouldn't have bothered me either way. Talarico Crockett win the primary, I would have walked my butt down and voted for either one of them because their actual messaging was almost identical. Like, I didn't see any key policy differences between either one. I thought Talarico was a more strategic vote because you can bet on Texas to be racist and misogynistic, is what it is, but I would have walked my butt down and voted for either one of them, no matter who won. Didn't bother me at all. Talarico can't leave Texas Senate. That's crazy. He's not even in the Texas Senate. He's in
No,
the Texas House.
I think what they're saying is if he gets in this year, he can't leave the Senate to go run for president. I think is what they're getting at. But he wouldn't have to. If he gets elected this year, he could run for Senate in 2028 without giving up his Senate seat.
No, I don't want Talarico to run for president at all.
Oh, then I'm misunderstanding what you're saying because you were
No,
comparing Gavin Newsom and Talarico, I thought.
No, what I said was if we get Talarico elected in Texas, despite my strong disdain for Gavin Newsom, I will walk my butt down in 2028, hold my nose, and vote for Gavin Newsom because my state has actually shown me that they've grown a brain. That's what I meant. Like, I will do it. It's a bet if we can get Talarico elected here. I will do it even though I don't like it.
Understood. That wasn't clear to me, so I'm sure some of the chat was confused as well.
Yeah, she
Okay.
cleared it up for me too.
I got you now.
Okay, so maybe it's just time for me to get off of here.
No. More
Well,
law nerd stuff.
I really appreciate y'all for letting me up and of course answering my questions.
Oh yeah, no problem. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Did you get any? Did you get any donations?
All right, you have a good one.
Don't know.
Thanks.
Bye.
Thanks, Glock.
Give me a second. I'll check it.
All right. Because if y'all didn't donate, you're going to make me have to pay for those kids' ice cream, which I'm happy to do, but I'm hoping y'all will chip in because they were great for this live.
No, but it's okay. We have more than enough to pay for ice cream. We're good. I'm not super worried about
God, these slackers. What's going on here?
It's not that big of a deal. Jensen, I swear to God, you were losing your mind. But anyway, I probably do have to get off here because I've been on for like a solid 2 hours now and they are restless and I'm just reaching that maximum. I've been live for so long, break because I'm not actually watching something. I have talked the whole time, but Law, any final thoughts about today? And I hope that if you can and you don't have stuff going on and Trump is crying, you will go live for that and I will join and just mute when my kids are screaming. Yeah?
That sounds delightful. Thank you so much for hosting this. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely. Any just final thoughts on the decisions today? I'm unsurprised. Everyone we've called, we've gotten right. So like,
No, I'm very, very surprised that we got a constitutional ruling on birthright citizenship. That was possible, but it wasn't my headline act. So very surprised, but also very pleased that that's the case because it just makes sense.
That's the part I'll speak on, though. I didn't see any way they could go but to make a constitutional ruling. Like, I know it addressed the statutory provision. Like, I get that. But when I watched the arguments, other than Kavanaugh, who is really like gnawing at it, I didn't see anybody probing at that question. I mean, not that they had to ask them to get to a result. That's not what I'm saying. It just, I didn't see any other way they could go then with that, if that makes sense for my brain.
I think that's fair. It's just I'm so used to the Roberts court going as narrow as possible and kicking the can down the road. I just didn't expect them to take a full swing.
Well, I think they had to nip this one in the bud. Like, I don't think they had a choice but to go any other way, because if they didn't, he was just going to keep dancing around it until they finally, smacked his hand. Oh, no. Yes, sorry. I need to get my nails filled, but, I'll do that when I can. But yes, Micaiah, there you go. But yeah, thank you so much for joining, Law. And really, really, if Trump's crying, please go live for it, because I will absolutely moderate for you as I always do. But I just want to watch that because it's going to be hilarious. But yeah, thanks so much.
That sounds good. It's my pleasure. Again, thank you for hosting this space and giving us the chance to law nerd out. If you guys aren't following Cass for the 67 here, I presume you do, but if you see that red follow button up at the top, and you appreciate just general law nerdery, we're running through landmark SCOTUS cases. We did Griswold v. Connecticut. So if you appreciate a right to privacy and the ability to wrap it and tap it in your own home without the government getting involved, it's an important case. We're going to I will as I can. I'm coming up on my crazy trial block, so Cass might be flying solo, but I will be listening and watching and judging you guys if you aren't. So please do follow Cass and join the lives when you see her red circle lit up.
Law's just sitting there watching y'all like I'm making a list while I'm doing my document. No, I'm just kidding. But anyway, again, Law, everybody in here, thank you so much for coming. You have the choice to go with any live, but you go with our live, and we love you for that. You can fly with anybody, but you fly with us. So we love you for that. Law, again, I can't thank you enough for joining. I really hope Trump goes on a crazy press conference rant because I need that in my life. It was a bad day for Alito. It'll just be like the cherry on top. So we all need that. Trump crying on TV. Anyway, that's all I got, guys. And thank you again, Law. And I will see you all later. Bye, guys.